Pamela Anderson has revealed that the steamiest experience of her life was with an 80-year-old man as they danced the tango. The former Baywatch star describes the moment in her new autobiography, which also details raunchy antics everywhere from a hospital bed to the Ecuadorian embassy in London with frisky Julian Assange, who she almost married after a drunken night. But Pamela, 55, says it was the OAP's gentle yet firm way of steering her through sexy dance steps that has stayed with her. She writes that his light touch on her body left her breathless, and the feeling of being led by a true man was something I'd never felt. And she says of the dance, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, when she was in her 22nd, it was one of the most sensual experiences I've ever had. It changed me, and I've never forgotten it. The actress, whose wild love life has made headlines for decades, has told her own story for the first time in her memoir, Love, Pamela, which was published yesterday. And unlike Prince Harry, she has written every word of it herself. As she says, no ghostwriters, no collaborators or book doctors. The autobiography, which has already won rave reviews, tells how she has come to accept and make use of what she calls her cartoon image, despite her real self being a poetry-writing bookworm. Pamela, who has been married to 5 men, one twice, also reveals details of the sickening sexual abuse she suffered as a child in Canada. She writes that she believes these experiences are what later threw her relationships off course, sudden marriages. Between the ages of 6 and 10 she was forced to play sexual games with her female babysitter, who would pay her with used toys, such as a Barbie head hairstyling doll, and forced her into silence with threats. At the age of 12, she was raped by an adult friend of a friend who she had been left alone with so he could teach her backgammon. Around 2 years later she was gang raped in a car by her boyfriend and up to 5 of his pals. Pamela writes that as a result of this abuse, she skipped past the promiscuity phase and came to believe that if she actually wanted sex, she must be in love. This could explain her famously sudden marriages. She wed her first husband, wild rocker Tommy Lee, in February 1995, 4 days after meeting the drummer. They had sons Brandon and Dylan, then divorced in 1998. In July 2006 she married singer Kid Rock a few days after he proposed, but in November she filed for divorce. Next up in 2007 was poker player Rick Salomon, best known for his sex tape with socialite Paris Hilton. Pamela reveals in her book that she married him in Las Vegas on a whim, after he joked that if she headed to the altar with him he would wipe out a gambling debt owed to him by 2 of her staffers. It lasted a few months before she found a crack pipe stuffed in her Christmas tree and swiftly got the marriage annulled.